I guess KJ, any updates? Still
Yeah,
out
I
for-
think KJ's out for the game. Jordan Feuerbacher's out for the game. Um, um, yeah, shouldn't say KJ's out. As of, if we played today, KJ's
Yeah.
out. So it's just a matter of if he feels physically able to go. But as of right now, he didn't practice today. Davion Hall, as of right now, would play, which is a great boost for us. And so, but KJ and Jordan would be the main ones.
What's Jordan?
He just has a hand, so hard for a tight end to play. So he'd probably be out for a couple weeks.
Okay.
I took a helmet on the hand, and so I'd say maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks, something like that. So him and Jermaine will get back around the same time.
So I guess Ish is going to start.
Yeah. Ish will get the start. Rob Solon, Jason Clements, Kyle Boyd. So we'll kind of mix and match those guys. Obviously Malin's started last week at left tackle. If we ever got into a jam, he could always play a little tight end for us too. So.
You feel confident with Ish?
Oh yeah, I think Ish got in the game and played well, and Jordan's a really smart, intelligent football player. Will miss his savviness, but I think Ish is ready. It's his time, so I'm excited to see him go play.
Does he know everything now? I mean, I know when we talked to him last time we talked to him, he was still trying to pick up everything. I mean,
yeah, he definitely knows the system.
Yeah.
It's just sort of some of the nuances that happen when you haven't played a ton of football. Sometimes he can be a little lost, but this is a great opportunity for him to he played a lot last week, but just to go play and like everyone else, as I tell our team, they'll make some mistakes here and there, but as long as you play with energy and play with a purpose, then you'll overcome the mistakes.
now you talked about some of those defensive guys being back, Davion, Jameson back, Henry Moore. I mean, how are those guys kind of working into the defense?
Good. The great thing, maybe not as much Henry and Davion, but Jameson. Obviously, Jameson had taken every rep, going into practice, and so we had our last practice the Saturday before the game. And our secondary was Tayon, Grayland, and Jameson. So those guys practiced all preseason until that last week for the first game. So to have Jameson back, to have those Davion and that doesn't mean that they're going to play all the time. I mean, we're still going to play everybody, but now we have more people to play. Blake Lynch has another week, so I'm happy to get some of those guys integrated in.
You talked a little bit about it yesterday, but it sounded at least like a very spirited practice out there. What have you liked about the way your guys are bouncing back?
Well, they like to play football, and so as I said, just because you lost one game doesn't mean you get to mope around. Doesn't mean you get to change your demeanor. If that's the case, then you're really not a great teammate. You're not a great football player. We've got great teammates. We've got great football players. So, all across the country, half the teams in Division I football lost, half the teams won. And so it's what you do after the first game that really matters. And so I think our guys, they got a bunch of young kids out there, and they're excited for their opportunity, so they have to get better. And they've been really good this week so far.
When you first came in contact with Anu, how did that develop right at the start?
You know what? That was such a blur that was in that time. I think at the time Sean Bell was on the road recruiting for us. I'd say Sean really took the lead in all that recruiting. And, he was just saying, hey, there's a guy that's interested. And we talked to some people that knew him, and they all said Anu was a wonderful kid. But really, I don't want to. Would hate to put any credit on me. Really, Sean Bell did all that work and got Anu to come and talk to his family, and it was really kind of a blind leap of faith for Anu. He didn't get to come here and take an official visit or anything. It was in the dead period, so he had to just come, based on faith, and we're very appreciative that he did.
Just getting a veteran like that, I mean, right when you started, a veteran transfer like that had to be a pretty big boost.
Yeah, it was at the time. At the time we had no one. We had one scholarship quarterback, and so to get Anu in there and then to get Charlie right after that, to have 3 scholarship quarterbacks in the spring, I think that's really made that a healthy position. And you like to have experience. You like to have guys who've been through the fire. I think that helps in situations that we're in right now, and allows the younger quarterbacks to come along at their own time and be ready to play when they're ready to go.
You hadn't even really seen him out there a lot, but what do you feel like Davion Hall brings to the secondary?
I mean, he's a big physical athlete. I mean, he looks the way you're supposed to look. And, we had a lot of balls caught last week. People are talking about the coverage, as we should, right? But, I mean, we had a lot of balls caught last week that were, like that far away from being incomplete. A lot of balls. And so to have a guy out there that's 6'2", you have a chance maybe to pick some of those balls off or knock those balls away, and another physical presence and another guy. So now, we're going to go into this game with 6 safeties dressed and ready to play in the game as opposed to 3. And so that, obviously that makes a huge difference.
Will he start or?
I don't know. We'll kind of come out today. I think he went out with the ones today.
Okay.
So, but we kind of always watch everything. So I think Davion and Henry. Chance obviously being down for the first half affects that. Tayon still being out, but Raj got a lot of reps. McVay got a lot of reps this week, and Chris Miller. Chris Miller's a tremendous athlete. He can really play football. He's learning and he's growing, and so he'll get better this week than he was last week.
Coach, running back situation, Jamichael's out now, Terrence is out. What's the plan?
Yeah, but we're gonna go with Lovett. I mean, I had, I've had a ton of people text me or call me saying, who watch the games, and I'm talking about NFL people, college people, just say, boy, I love your back. I think Lovett's got a chance to be special. And Treston Ebner's been waiting his turn, and so he's going to get it, and Drew Dixon's going to get it. And then we have two vets in Wyatt Schrefter and Obim Okiki who can go out there and play for us. So, we feel good. I mean, we'd love to have Terrence. We'd love to have Jamichael. Terrence is, he'll be back here soon. But I think it's Lovett, Ebner, and Dixon. It's those, that trio of freshmen. It's their turn to go play, and we expect them to go play really well.
You stay patient with Terrence. I mean, I know you've tried to be cautious with him. I mean, do you push him to get back at all, or?
Yeah, I don't get involved in anything medical.
Right.
At the end of the day, we've got a tremendous training staff, great doctors, and they tell us when a kid's ready. And then really for me, I'll always err on the side of caution with any of these guys. Like Tamarcus Davis was probably cleared 2 weeks ago, but I just, I don't want a kid to go out there before he's ready. Sometimes you can be cleared, but mentally you're just not 100%. I'll tell you about Terrence. He would go play like right now if we let him. And but the doctors are doing the right thing and making sure he doesn't go out there before he's 100% ready. So I think we'll get some more people as the year goes on coming back. Obviously Tayon in a couple games, Terrence back, Jamichael and Feuerbacher will get back. Jordan Tolbert will be back halfway through the year. So some of those off-season surgeries, those guys are starting to practice and get healthy, and that helps.
Does Tamarcus definitely play, or what's the plan with him?
Unless he changes his mind between now and Saturday, or, right now we would put him in the game. He probably as a third corner sometimes, and maybe a little bit on special teams.
From a leadership standpoint, what have you seen from Anu since you named him the starter last week?
Well, he's got that kind of laid back, cool, mellow, nothing bothers him attitude that I think is good, and he'll get the receivers in there on their own, and they'll watch the tape together, and so he's a lead by example guy, and I just think he brings a nice demeanor to the group. There's no panic. Like I said last week, we were explosive, but we weren't efficient. So the first, I think it took like 3 drives to get on the board, but I think, whereas I can maybe start to let's go, he kept them calm, and then eventually once they got kind of heated up, they were pretty good. So when guys make mistakes, he doesn't panic, he doesn't get after them too much, but he does go over there and talk to them. And so I think with that young group of receivers, those young running backs, his calm, workmanlike, personal demeanor goes a long way.
You talked about it, but in the press conference yesterday, but third downs, how big is this defense? And y'all were that close to getting off on a lot of those.
Yeah, so here's what I told our defense. Our defense practiced one way and played one way all preseason. Now, you had some injuries, I get it, right. But the biggest issue to me was, our defense kind of got in the game and was kind of like, looking around, for, hey, offense, go make some plays. Or, it's kind of so used to just saying, hey, and we want our offense to score, but we also want our defense to play with some energy and some swagger and to go attack. And so, but before they're going to have a ton of confidence, they need to have some success.
Right.
And, part of that is getting off the field on third down, and you go back and watch the third downs. I mean, it's literally like that far, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And so, we need to have some success versus a really good UTSA team, another great quarterback, great receivers. But once we do, I think the guys, they'll start to really realize, hey, we can do this. And I think you'll see them kind of accelerate their performance.
Great.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Yeah,
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
The post-practice interviews are way better for me than the pre-practice.
I could
A little
imagine.
bit more to talk about.